putting fake teeth in your mouth can like change everything about.
It's like Marlon Brando just shoving cotton in his mouth. I think it was Marlon Brando, right?
It was Marlon.
Was it Godfather?
Yeah, it was,
playing
yes.
that character? I mean, that stuff's real. As we might make fun of the idea of this like methody, but some of those techniques actually like help develop and create characters.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Julian Edgar, and I am playing Bat Boy in Bat Boy the Musical.
Hi, I'm Robert Scott Smith, and I'm playing Dr. Parker in Bat Boy the Musical.
So, Rob Scott, what would you say Bat Boy the Musical is about?
It's a great question, Julian. I don't know. I'm kidding. I feel for me it's a play about a half boy, half bat that's discovered in Hope Falls, Virginia, and brings a lot of chaos into a small town where a lot of folks are struggling with their life, their identity, their relationships. And I think Bat Boy brings out something deep within each person within the play that is self-reflective of things that they might be afraid of, things that they might misunderstand. And it's a great story about watching how each individual interacts with that and what they do to either embrace it, push it away, or just unlock or figure it out and discover like, who's this little bat boy and where does he come from? I'd say for me, right now, that's what I'm feeling the show is about.
Yeah, I think essentially what you're talking about is the other, right?
Yeah.
In society and in life, when the other is present, it's confusing to us and our everyday human instinct. And for me, it's about recognizing that the other is okay, embracing that in all of the quirkiness that might come from said half man, half bat human.
It's a really interesting character. So let's talk a little bit about Bat Boy himself. How would you describe Bat Boy?
I think he's a survivor. I think, he has only known his world, which was in the cave, and now all of a sudden he is brought out into the limelight of reality and life, and we're watching this individual that literally is learning from the ground up. He doesn't know how to speak, he doesn't know how to talk, and the only way he learns how to exist is by observing and watching. Funnily enough, something I did most of my life. He learns by the example that is set for him, which I think the naivete that he possesses sometimes takes over, and he doesn't realize that he has gotten himself in a situation that might not be beneficial for him on his journey of learning how to exist.
Yeah.
What about you? Who is Bat Boy to you? Do you have a different idea of him now versus when you played him 20 years ago?
That's a really great question and something I've somewhat avoided reflecting on because I feel for me this is a brand new experience with the show. So I'm purposefully trying to look at it with eyes of where I am now versus the memory of the production, 20 some years ago. So for me, I'm discovering a completely different relationship and understanding of what Bat Boy is. And for me, there's something really interesting about this idea that Bat Boy comes from a very tragic event, whether it's real or not, and it doesn't really matter, but what came from that event was Bat Boy. And if you think of it maybe more figuratively, that something was created in a moment of conflict, and then that was repressed, forgotten, pushed away. But it wasn't completely destroyed because it was still lingering within. And a few years later, Batboy comes back into Dr. Parker's life as something that feels more repressed, something that wasn't healed. So for me, it's kind of becoming a little more abstract than the literal sense of like, what is Batboy? It feels like, from my perspective now as Dr. Parker, I'm really living in this idea of unresolved harm, unresolved trauma, which is very relatable to me as a human in my life and the experiences that I've had that I can relate to. And it's like, well, what am I going to do now? What route am I going to take, and how am I going to kind of resolve this conflict? And that's where I'm living.
And so, in terms of it being 20 years later, like, where do you feel as though the show fits in society's norm right now? Like, is it really relevant?
Yeah.
Like it was back.
Yeah.
20 years ago?
I mean, it feels like yesterday. It doesn't feel like a long time ago, but I think, surprisingly enough, I feel like the climate of the world, in 2003, there's some similar political things happening now that were happening then. I mean, we've come a long way in 20 some years, and we feel as though, there's a lot of fire and brimstone and pitchforks happening right now. But I feel that that's something that happened, even 20 some years ago. So I feel like we're landing in kind of a similar pocket where I think the world, the country's trying to figure out its identity and who we are. So I feel like this is the perfect time to like look at something like this. Like, there's a great line where the town folk, they're scared. Like, something has come in, something is happening, they don't know what's happening, so they're going to believe anything that comes along because it's going to fall into their narrative. It's going to like, oh yeah, that's what's happening, it's that, without any knowledge or understanding of what's really going on. And I feel that's happening now, and I'm excited to see how the audience will explore this and experience this show today.
Agreed.
Oh, I have something. Okay. There's one thing I do want to share. I brought something.
Okay.
Now, it's been a minute.
Is it your teeth?
It might, yeah, I did. So just for the faint of heart, like, it might look a little like, oh, but I've had this ever since, because I've just like, I have to keep this like token.
Yeah, of course.
This is the case that it was in, sat on my dressing room, Batboy teeth, right? So I would like to share them with you. You do not need to touch them. This is what I had to wear. Now this looks a little, it's aged, but I just would like to share that it was like a full-on
I'm obsessed.
mouth guard with teeth. Wow. I will not be putting these in, but I just was like, this is what I had to deal with. And I just was like, I just wanted to share.
And so they molded your mouth, and then like a dentist or something?
Yeah, they just like, they're like pieces of wax. They just kind of built the teeth all into the piece. It's like a lovely mouth guard. And not only did I have the teeth in here, but I had my ears. Can you believe that?
Wild.
Yeah. It was like, something I've kept. I just wanted to share them.
I love it.
Just,
it's so much a part of the character, right?
Oh, I think that for me, when the teeth came, everything shifted. Yeah, no, one, it was a challenge as an actor to work around the teeth, but for me, that's what I went, oh, there's the character. And I had to work a little extra harder, and it actually helped me vocally because I had where the placement landed and having to work around that.
That's one thing that I have really noticed, which is when you have these fangs, right? They sit here. And so in order to shape things, words, vowels in my mouth, I have to centralize where I'm placing it. So if all else fails, it's right in between the two fangs. Yeah. It's interesting how just like the slight adjustment of putting fake teeth in your mouth can like change everything about.
It's like Marlon Brando just shoving cotton in his mouth. I think it was Marlon Brando. Right?
It was Marlon.
Was it Godfather?
It was.
Playing that character. I mean, that stuff's real. As we might make fun of the idea of this like method-y, but some of those techniques actually like help develop and create characters.
Yeah, people are like, well, does it hurt? No, it doesn't hurt. Actually, it just is foreign. Yeah. To like put your body through a physical journey that like is not walking on 2 feet.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Thanks for letting me share.
I love that. Thank you.
What drew you to this production, or what had you saying yes to the opportunity to play Batboy?
So I reached out to our fearless director, Eric Scotto, whom I've known for many, many years. We have not been able to work together before. And when I saw that he was directing Batboy, I sort of went on this journey internally of being like, I've only played outcasts in my career. And I had this thought process with myself where I was like, why don't you go on this journey of just like trying to achieve playing every outcast that exists? And the only recollection I have of Batboy in general is my friend Ryan Vasquez playing it at University of Michigan in college. That's the extent of my knowledge. And I said to Eric, I was like, I think I need to take this one on. And I need to take it on in a safe place, a safe rehearsal environment, if that makes sense. And he was like, let's see what we can do. And here we are.
That's great. That's great. So we're just a week and a half into rehearsals. And what are you enjoying most about the process?
I think the number one thing that I'm enjoying the most is how authentic everyone is. And what I mean by that is I feel as though we step onto the platform that is the stage that we're rehearsing on, and it doesn't feel like, as an actor, specifically, let's talk about you and I and our interactions, I feel like I'm with Rob Scott, the actor, right? I don't feel as though I'm not being taken care of as a scene partner, which a lot of times, sometimes ego comes into play, and like folks don't realize that they're not being an authentic scene partner. So authenticity here in Salt Lake for me is like what I'm connecting the most with, and it allows me to not go into my actor brain and like be insecure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What would you say? Nope, that's number one. Is that it?
I think we're
done.
I think we did it. I think we managed to go through all these questions.
Was that good?
That's awesome.
That's great.
Cool. Great.
Cool. Cut.